First of all, it's good to see everybody. It's good to be in a game week mode. We are very excited to play. This morning's practice really did a lot to calm my nerves with the way the guys came out to practice. We had gave them about a day and a half off to get their bodies back and to get prepared for this game. Our camp has been very physical. It's been very tough. We went old school, Coach Novak style. We conditioned them after practice. We made it as hard as we can make it so nothing should be a shock to them when they get to the game. And I think our guys responded the right way. I think the last couple of days, what I've seen is a level of focus, a level of anticipation, a level of excitement. The guys want to get out there and prove what type of team we are and what type of group of men we have. For us, as we look at this game, obviously Georgia Tech is a quality opponent in a great conference. We have to handle the environment early. We have to play clean football. We can't be wild and awed from the whiteout or whatever else that they have going on down there. This will be the first time we played in front of fans for a lot of guys, and I think we have to embrace that. We have to want to be in that moment. We have to want to be in that arena, and then we have to be ready to make plays. Today we had a lot of crowd music. It was extra loud. So guys can focus and lock in, and I thought they handled it well. I told our players, I've been to some Tuesday practices that was really good, and you get beat bad on Saturday. I said, but what we need to be ready to do is respond to adversity, respond to a bad play. How are we going to play the next snap? And that's the type of mentality we're going to have. As far as the depth chart, I know some guys may have seen that already. Georgia Tech, they print out an above-the-line type of deal where they put them in numerical order. And so for us, we're going to reciprocate that. So we'll have a depth chart after this week, obviously with guys that play. But I thought from a competitive standpoint, it makes no sense for us to put a depth chart and they don't put a depth chart out. So we want to at least match what they do. Certainly excited. We got 5 guys on our team from Georgia that gets a chance to go back home and see their families and play in front of a home crowd for them. And Devin Lafayette is a safety for us. Miles McGee is a corner. Ty Miles is another corner. Elijah Ham is a linebacker for us, and Ontario Brown. Those guys are excited, and I'm happy that we get to travel them to this game and be in that type of atmosphere. With that, I'll take any questions. The biggest challenge for us, we got to play with poise and play with confidence. Go into that game expecting a loud crowd, expecting Georgia Tech to come out with a lot of energy. We going on the road in front of a Power 5 opponent. So we have to have poise. We have to play within ourselves. We have to play with confidence. That's going to be the biggest challenge. And for our players, what they need to understand is everything we've done to this point, we've made it as hard as we possibly can make it for you. So you should embrace that environment, embrace that scenario, and do the things that you've done up until this point.
One guy who has played in front of big crowds is your quarterback, Rocky. I mean, how much comfort does that give you knowing that guy is not going to be rattled by what he steps in?
Yeah, I mean, the quarterback position is a big position for us. Obviously, he runs the offense, but more importantly, he runs the team, and he controls the locker room. And Rocky, with his experience, his leadership qualities, is not going to be too big for him. He's going to be a calming presence for our wide receivers. He's going to be a calming presence for our O-line to get guys lined up. And we couldn't be more excited to have him on our team and playing in this game. Yeah, I mean, I think, for us, our guys are tired of practicing against each other. They want to go play somebody else and test themselves. And it's going to be a tremendous test. Georgia Tech has a lot of good athletes that has speed and that can create problems. And we have to play a team game. We have to play complementary football in all 3 phases to give ourselves the best chance to win this game.
Coach, how did you scheme for Georgia Tech defensively?
As far as what?
They've run a triple option for a very long time. How do you plan to scheme against that?
Well, obviously, new coaching staff, so they are playing a spread type of system. We watched. I think they played 10 games last year, so we have 10 games of information about the style of play that they want to play on, and we feel like we got a pretty good gauge of their personnel and how they're going to try to attack us, and we feel like we got a really good game plan for them.
How do you see your running back position sorting out? I mean, without giving away your depth chart there, but are you going to lean heavily on two guys, or are we going to see a whole bunch of guys?
We're gonna find out the guys that can get hot. We're gonna go with the hot hand. So we got some different ways to give guys opportunity to get in the game and see who becomes the hot player, and we're gonna stick with that. I think one thing we are talented in the backfield. And the great thing is Georgia Tech is extremely talented in the backfield. So as a competitor, they should want to outplay Georgia Tech's backfield. I mean, that would be a good gauge because they got some backs too. I mean, they got some tremendous players, and I think we got some guys that stack up decent as well.
How are the receivers behind Richie and Cole stacking up? Because guys like Muhammad, Fabian, there's also glimpses. Is anyone you see kind of made that leap and solidified themselves as a option behind them?
Yeah, I think we got probably three guys that really has made tremendous jumps. Messiah Travis being one of them. You haven't even mentioned Trayvon Rudolph, who's an explosive and dynamic player. Muhammad Toure is going to have a role, and one of our most improved players has been Fabian McCray. So those guys have found a nice niche in our offense, and we got to find creative ways to get them on the field where they can help us.
How refined is Trayvon as a receiver, the route running and all of that? I mean, is he still kind of raw and just an athlete playing the position, or do you see a guy who's really got the subtleties of the position down?
I think he's a lot further ahead than he was last year, and he made quite a few plays for us last year. And to have that experience, those 6 games, he was able to learn. He was able to go through a normal offseason, spring ball, summer conditioning, all those things that the investment it takes to make yourself into a good player, he's done. And we give out jerseys every day from Hardway and Juice, and he's wanted the most. So he's been able to make the plays in practice, and hopefully he can make those plays Saturday night.
One side of the ball ahead of the other? Is the offense ahead, maybe the defense, or are they about even right now?
Obviously it's hard to say you're even. I think there were ebbs and flows of camp. I think at moments the offense was ahead, and then the defense found their stride midway through. Then the offense came back. And for me as the head coach, obviously I have to be neutral. You want to see the give and take because if it becomes, too one-sided, that means that you have a deficiency on the other side of the ball. I like the response. I like the competition. We still do good on good in practice, for periods, so we can get the speed of the game so guys don't get into the lull of going against the developmental team. So I like the give and take. Obviously, there's a lot of familiarity on both sides of the ball, and I think they're anxious to play somebody else. Well, obviously, we put a lot of stock in the scheme. I don't think the scheme is going to change dramatically. I think they're going to have some new wrinkles, some new guys they probably want to feature. But obviously, they got a lot of new incoming pieces to the puzzle, right? I think they got 12 of 22 starters back, so that means I know they have attacked the portal pretty good and got some new players that they feel good about just listening to some of their coaches speak. So we have a general idea. Now, obviously, it may be a wide receiver or two that they choose to feature more than they did last year, or a running back. And the quarterback is obviously a dynamic player himself.
You said some great things about Ethan, as a freshman, a true freshman. What have you seen from Rocky in terms of leadership towards Ethan, and how has Ethan responded?
Well, I think it's interesting, right? Those guys, I challenged them all summer. They play golf every day, so I said, I'm gonna play against you guys one day, and they went out there and smoked me. So I'm not ashamed to say it. I think Rocky shot 71, and Ethan was like 75, and I was a lot higher. But they have a natural bond. And I think is unbreakable, and that's what college is about, the camaraderie. And before we started camp, Ethan came up to me and said, "Coach, I want to room with Rocky next year." that took me aback from the situation. Those are two guys competing against each other, but they have enough of a relationship where we can go on the field and compete, but we're still going to be friends off the field. And I think that's fantastic. And I think that speaks to Ethan's poise, his maturity, and his understanding of the things he needs to do to become a great player.
Coach, you talked a little bit about last year's team. The defense on Georgia Tech was relatively poor. How important is it to get points on the board early and get that offense?
Well, I think, there's a couple challenges with Georgia Tech. I think, number one, they do a tremendous job of taking the ball away. When they go to tackle, there's guys ripping at the ball actively. I've shown multiple clips, the back from Georgia Tech, the back from Notre Dame, the back from Louisville. They do a great job of coaching how to rip the ball out. And as a former, running back coach and understand the importance of ball security, we got our work cut out for us. But defensively, I think, what you see, they have athletes. Their D-line is strong. They're fast. They are very, very twitchy. They like to move them. Obviously, they like to blitz quite a bit. They'll blitz a corner. They'll blitz a safety. They'll blitz an outside linebacker. So we have to be prepared for that. And then, obviously, on the back end, they have long defenders. They got long corners. So we have to play through contact. We have to expect contact and play to the ball and be aggressive to the ball because they do have athletes that are good players.
How do you see your linebackers shaping up behind, obviously, Lance and Todd's absence and other stuff?
I think we got a good linebacker core. We really do. We got guys that got experience. David Rayner started games. Eddie Jackson started games last year. Jaden Dolphin has made the switch to linebacker since the spring. So we have quality depth. Obviously, we got to keep guys fresh. We know the temperature may become a factor, and guys are playing special teams. So we got to make sure we keep guys fresh and the right guys out there to go out there and make plays.
Outside of Kyle, to you, is there any injuries of note going into this week?
I really don't talk about injuries, but there's no major injuries. We've been relatively healthy this fall camp, which has been good because of the physicality that we went into and the mindset that we wanted to try to create. And I think guys have handled that. Our strength staff has done a phenomenal job getting their bodies right. We've had a yoga instructor for flexibility, and then our training staff with the prehab and the rehab and the job that Heath and his staff does down there. I've been very, very pleased with the health of our team going into this first game.
When you were playing and coaching, did you ever do yoga, in the NFL when you were coaching stuff?
Yeah, obviously it's a big thing in the NFL because you got the budget to do it. We found some creative ways to take care of our players, and I think that's the most important thing. And Janique is our yoga instructor, and she's done a phenomenal job all summer with the guys. We had her in for a day a couple weeks ago. We had a Saturday practice, and then we mixed lifting with yoga because we understand that taking care of your body and the maintenance of taking care of your body goes a long way to your long-term health and being able to stay healthy for the season.
Is there any challenge? I don't know how often you guys see this as the coaching staff, but I haven't seen before sort of a team say we're not going to have a 2 deep depth chart. Does that play a factor at all for you guys in your preparation or no?
No, you obviously said you haven't heard it, but last week a couple coaches that played in the game said they wasn't releasing a depth chart. So I think it's becoming a common thing, and to me it makes sense. Why would you want to show the other team who are your new guys or who are your new players? And we respect that. But once you play a game and guys are on tape, then it becomes, you understand who's going to play, who's going to be out there. So obviously it's a competitive thing, and why would we put out a 2 deep and they have not? That just doesn't make sense to me.
Coach, taking a game on the road, non-conference, first time in over a year. What would you guys say you have to do to come back with a victory?
To come back with a victory? Number one, we got to play clean. We have to play clean football. We can't turn the ball over. We have to be able to run the ball. We have to make sure we contain their athletes. They're going to make plays. That's the game of football. There is give and take. But we got to win enough of our individual battles to give ourselves a chance. And then we got to be good on special teams. This head coach is very aggressive. in special teams. He'll try fakes and tricks and all those different things to try to create an advantage. We got to make sure our eyes are right and we're disciplined to not give up a cheap play on special teams. And so the big thing for us is to handle the things that we can control. How we go into the game, how we prepare, and then how we obviously go out there and play.
Also representing the MAC means something to you guys too, going against ACC.
Yeah, I think, anytime I think the commissioner talks about raising a flag, we talk about boneyard victories. Those are big things, and you want to represent your conference the right way. No different than if you are in bowl season. You want to represent, obviously, your school first, but you want to represent your conference. And I think, there's a lot of great opportunities for the MAC this week, and hopefully we can win a bunch of those games.
Defensive tackle from Detroit. So at this time, we'll take questions for the Huskies. Please let us know who you're addressing them to.
Devin, obviously, what's this one like, not only playing in a crowd for the first time, or a real one, but back home, what's this one like playing?
Mainly, I'm excited to be actually play in front of fans and be back home in my state, so that way my family and friends can come watch. Because last year they didn't come watch due to COVID. So I'm just more excited than anything right now, just ready to play Saturday.
Yeah, I think the biggest jump I've seen from last season to this season is how mature they've got. Obviously, with last year it was kind of an awkward year, it was weird, but I think the maturity and the big step they've taken is, not focusing on outside matters, focusing on themselves, and, perfecting their craft is the biggest thing I've seen in all those young guys. Taking a step forward and they're ready to help the offense in a big way.
I think coming in, we're a very young group. I think guys have progressed in a major way. I think we've learned how to get to the quarterback and press him and keep him in the pocket, and that's going to be a major thing for us against Georgia Tech. So I think that's been one of our biggest jumps, though, just being able to get guys converting from run to pass counters, things like that.
Yeah, obviously, last year was kind of like I said, a weird season. So you kind of got to be ready for everything coming into the first game. You never know what's going to happen. You never know how they're going to attack you. You don't have any film from this year, so it could be the first game. You got to be ready for everything. But with them being pass rush heavy, you got to be ready for quick game and stuff like that. But really, everything's on the table.
James?
For me personally, I've been a big fan of the yoga stuff just because I know my genetics don't make me a very flexible person, so things like that is definitely big for me, and I think the guys have bought into it too. And Janique, the woman who comes in and instructs, she's really good with everybody, and I think it's been good for us overall. Yeah.
Devin?
I find it very beneficial. I honestly think it helped me a lot with my flexibility because back in a long time ago, I used to have a hard time with flexibility. So having yoga there and being able to do what she does really helped me also with breathing and stretching.
Cool.
Yeah, I'm pretty old in this age now, at 22. So I think the yoga's helped out a lot. I think a lot of the guys have bought into it. Team is more flexible. Like Devin said, helps out with breathing and everything too. So it's helped a lot.